Hey guys, Jim here again to bring you guys another 5-minute video. And this time I'm covering the UFC 169 Super Bowl weekend's co-main event that features the UFC Featherweight Championship on the line when current, reigning, and defending UFC Featherweight Champion Jose Aldo Jr. puts his title on the line against top contender Ricardo Lamas in what should be a fun featherweight scrap. I will give you guys the backstory to this fight as well as a full fight breakdown of the two fighters and who I have ultimately winning and walking out with that UFC featherweight gold when it's all said and done. Now, without further ado, let's get this thing started right about Jose Aldo Ricardo Lamas. Now, it's been a busy year for the UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo. At UFC 156 this year, he had to put his title on the line against Frankie Edgar, the former UFC lightweight champion, in a super fight, in what was a very competitive bout, mind you. I mean, Jose was using his Muay Thai effectively. He got the leg kicks in. He was hitting those legs good with them kicks. He's using his, his boxing as well, and he was stuffing some takedowns. That is until he got tired and Frankie took over and started taking him down a couple of times. But Jose was able to get back to his feet. Frankie was landing some punches, and he started throwing his own leg kicks in there too. I mean, but Jose did a lot more damage in the judges' eyes, and he won the fight by unanimous decision. Then fast forward to that, he then was put into a fight against Anthony Pettis, who's coming down from lightweight to featherweight because he wanted a faster title shot than, lightweight, because it was already busy at the time, because I think Benson was getting ready to fight Gilbert Melendez and he had waited so long for a title shot, and he figured going down a weight class was an easier way to get it. And of course Jose was all for it because, if he would have beat Pettis, then he would have got the lightweight sweepstakes, in being that he would have left featherweight and got a direct title shot up in the other weight class. Because if you think about it, Anthony Pettis was the #1 contender for the UFC lightweight championship, and Jose is already the most dominant at featherweight. He's won all his fights convincingly as of late. He's on a win streak, and hey, BJ Penn got a direct title shot on Georges St. Pierre when he was lightweight champion, so why not Jose? But that fight did not take place at UFC 163 because Pettis got injured, and Jose's next opponent was going to be the Korean Zombie, who was set to face Ricardo Lamas, who has been on a tear and beat the likes of Eric Koch via TKO by elbows, and Hatsuhiro Ioki, and what's his name again? Oh yeah, Cub Swanson. But Ricardo and Korean Zombie did not go at it. And the Korean Zombie has also been on a similar tear at UFC 162 because they moved the Zombie over to 163 to fight Jose. And for the most part, when Jose and Zombie went at it, there's a lot more grappling out of Jose, a lot more wrestling, a lot of top control, and not as much, leg kick heavy. That until the 4th round, where, he started, kicking his arms and stuff like that, because Jose had seen that Korean Zombie had popped his arm. It was the beginning of the end. He went in there for the kill, and the rest is history. He won by TKO. And now he's set to face Ricardo Lamas in a fight at UFC 169. And Ricardo has been waiting a long time for this, his title shot. because I think he felt robbed out of it because Pettis got in over him, and he's done a lot more work than Anthony Pettis at featherweight. Like I said, he beat Hayato Yoki, the former Sengoku champion, in a 3-round tough fight. He beat Bart Jesse. He beat Cub Swanson. Eric Koch, the guy who's supposed to fight Jose, but he still didn't get his title shot. But he's getting it now at UFC 169 against Jose Aldo. Now the question is, can Ricardo Lamas pull a Chris Weidman at UFC 169 and take the belt away from Jose Aldo? Or is he going to fall short like Gustafsson and Johnny Hendricks did? Or will Jose Aldo make this a showcase fight and take out this guy and add another contender to his mantle? And who knows, possibly move up the lightweight, because there's no more competition left for him in featherweight. He's beaten everybody that there is. Now, unless BJ beats Frankie, there's nobody left for him to fight. So, as far as the answer to that question is concerned, that'll be answered coming up next. Okay. We're breaking down these two fighters on a little tail of the tape. Obviously, both of these guys have the same amount of reach, so there's no difference there. 70 inches for Ricardo, 70 inches for Jose. Now, height-wise, Ricardo edges him by an inch. He's 5'8", Jose's 5'7". Not that big of a difference, but cardio is going to be the question mark here. Now, Ricardo has very good cardio, but he's never been 5 rounds. Jose has, decent cardio, but he starts to fade as the fight progresses, in the later rounds. In the later rounds, he starts to fade. Especially at UFC 129 when he fought Mark Hominick. Yeah, he was shot. So, I mean, technically Ricardo edges him in the cardio, but then again, the guy's never been 5 rounds, and Jose has more experience in going 5-round fights and pacing himself to a certain extent to last the duration if need be. Now, when it comes to striking, the champion takes that all day. He's a much better striker than Ricardo. He has more knockouts on his record. He has a more diverse skill set striking. He has punishing leg kicks. Great Muay Thai. Great flying knees. Muay Thai clinch. And great boxing. And mixing it all together is key with Jose. Because once he's tearing into your legs, that's when he's going to start using his boxing on you, throwing some combinations. Then he's going to throw in a head kick. And then, he might also throw in a spinning back kick as well. Just like his teammate, Renan Barão. So, I mean, the guy is very diverse. He's very awesome. He's an awesome striker, put it that way. And pretty much, I think, the best striker at featherweight. Or hell, in all the lightweight classes, in my opinion. Ricardo, he's a pretty good striker. He throws some kicks in there, but he shouldn't throw kicks with Jose Aldo. Especially the early goings when Jose still has plenty of gas in the tank. Because if he starts trading leg kicks with Jose Aldo early on, it's going to be a very long night for him. And his legs are going to be jacked the hell up. I mean, Chad Mendes found out the hard way not to trade leg kicks with this guy early going, because as soon as you start throwing the kicks, Chad went automatically in takedown mode. Ricardo doesn't have a lot of knockouts on his record. I mean, he does have good boxing, and he does do the capoeira stuff, but I wouldn't be doing that with Jose, because you do that shit at the wrong moment, and he's going to catch you just like that. He is fast, and when he leaps in and connects, it's over. Simple as that. And hell, it only took him 7 seconds to destroy Cub Swanson with double knees. With double flying knees, I mean to say. And it took freaking Ricardo 2 rounds to finish him. And that was by submission, but still, you can see a clear talent differential here, especially with the stand-up. Wrestling-wise, Ricardo is a Division II wrestler. He's taken down most of all the opponents he's had, except for, I think, what is his name? Hatsuhiyoki. Took him down multiple times, so Ricardo's got strong offensive wrestling, but he's got to work a little bit harder on the defensive from what I've seen. Or maybe he was just having a bad night. Jose has got great defensive wrestling, excellent offensive wrestling. So, you know, I'm going to slightly give it to the champion as well, even though Ricardo has the better pedigree. Now, Jiu-Jitsu, the champion is a black belt. Ricardo is a brown belt, but Ricardo has done, I think, you know, more submissions in his career than Jose, with 3 submissions to his credit. I mean, Jose has 2, but the one was a soccer kick by, probably they tapped after, you know, getting soccer kicked all the way to hell from Jose. The other one was from arm triangle choke. So he has 1 legit submission and submission due to strikes, and Ricardo has 3 submissions to his credit. Guillotine chokes, which is his favorite, you know, from what I've seen, and an arm triangle choke that he used on Cub Swanson. So it's interesting there. That's all I'm going to say about that. But nevertheless, Ricardo has nasty ground and pound, great punches, great elbows, and he will grind you into mincemeat. When he starts hitting those elbows and heavy punches, the ground and pound just acts like a coke. He was a crimson mess when Ricardo got done with him. And Jose also has excellent ground and pound as well, as seen in the Mike Brown fight and Gamburian fight. It comes down to their game plans. Now, the key for Jose Aldo is to defend the takedowns from Ricardo Lamas, and should he find himself on his back, work himself right back up. Get up like a cat. I mean, his takedown defense is pretty savvy, but he has been taken down several times by Frankie Edgar when they fought each other, and he got taken down briefly by Kenny Florian, and, you know, he sprung himself right back up. He's got to do that. He cannot let Ricardo get on top of him and start landing, you know, ground and pound. And from there, hit the inside leg kick, you know, from the front and the back of his leg, tear those up, and then start, you know, aiming for, you know, his chin and his jaw. Start throwing in some uppercuts and some hooks, and then, you know, basically some body kicks, Muay Thai clinch, knee flying knees, back kick, and just really just mix it up with your striking. And if it's there, take him down and ground and pound him. Try to work in a submission, try to submit him. Even though he hasn't submitted anybody octagon, he can very well do it. He is a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and I'd like to see him do it. Okay, for Lamas, is obviously mix up your striking and your wrestling. Use your striking to feint for takedowns. So you get in there some ground and pound in when you got him on the ground. Try to work for submission attempts. And try to submit him, throwing, you know, after you're done elbowing him and giving some ground and pound once you're transitioning from his guard, you try to go for a submission via either guillotine choke or, let's say, arm triangle choke. And on the feet, don't kick Jose's legs so much, because when he starts like firing back on you, you know, those things hurt, man. Uriah Faber felt the power of those leg kicks, and Uriah wasn't the same after that. You gotta check the kicks, and don't make, you know, and basically when he throws kicks at you, besides checking, catch him and throw him down. And the same thing with his knee, with his flying knees. Get out of there, and then once the attack is complete, take him down. Feinting You know, just in and out movement with your hands when you're boxing him, and just takedowns. And, you know, ground and pound, and use your jiu-jitsu. Because on the stand-up aspect of it, Ricardo Lamas is not at Jose's level, and he will not win this if he keeps this thing at a stand-up, you know, fight. I mean, not everybody's Frankie Edgar. I'm sorry, you know. Because Frankie was able to hang in there and be competitive with it, but not everybody's Frankie, and Ricardo doesn't have the same kind of speed like Frankie Edgar does. And I don't think he's going to be able to stand up with Jose as well as Frankie did. But for the most part, the person I have coming out victorious in this fight is obviously Jose Aldo. I mean, Jose Aldo is going to defend Lamas' takedowns, and if Lamas does get him down, he'll get right back up, and he's going to jack his legs up, and he's going to knock him out within the third or second round, and shatter Ricardo's dream to becoming world champion for now. And pretty much, I don't know who's left for him to face at featherweight, because he's pretty much cleaned out the weight class. He's beaten Faber, Mendez, just everybody. Unless they're going to give Chad Mendez again in a rematch, I can kind of see that because Chad's been on a huge winning streak. But in reality, there's nobody left for him to face unless BJ Penn like blitzes Frankie Edgar or something like that. Then you throw in BJ, and then from there just move him up to lightweight. There's nobody else for the guy to fight, and that's just plain and simple. He's got to go to lightweight eventually and fight Pettis. Now, Ricardo is going to work himself back up to being, you know, #1 contender again, and you know he probably might be champion, you know, after Jose leaves the division and moves up full time to lightweight, where he belongs. He does not belong at featherweight. Now, anyways, guys, this will do it for this edition, and I'll see you guys for the next one.